All right, so I'm at my friend Ken's house picking up some parts for the Monte Carlo because he is moving to South Carolina here in a couple weeks. But I wanted to show you some of his stuff. He's got this really crazy Chrysler New Yorker. It's like a mile long. And here's the Monte Carlo. This is the street Monte Carlo that I'm building. And there's a picture of me when I'm like not even a year old when Dad brought this car home. So this is the car that I used to roll around in when I was a little kid. And Ken's doing some paint on it because it was a little bit weathered. It's been in storage since the 80s. The rear end is not rear ending. And but this thing's been in storage since the 80s, and the front had a green fender on the front there, and I think it was maybe replaced at some point with a junkyard Michigan fender, because everything else under here is, you know, pretty solid. Yeah. Like I said, 1977. It came from South Carolina, where you're moving to.
Yes. Yeah, and it was, you know, like all these GM fenders, like in the dog leg. So I had to, I made a panel for that and put that in there, and just a couple. It was a good fender. It just had a couple little dents and stuff in it that had to be worked out. But you know, now it's a little bit of shiny on the rest of this thing.
Yeah, and I might have to fade this out to match the rest of the car.
I have a logging chain out back if you want to whip it a couple of times.
So, but yeah, I figured like Ken's into this Mopar stuff, and this is his New Yorker, which he had this a couple years ago, and we rode to the Mr. Quick Cruise in with it, and then he sold it, and it found its way back to you.
Yeah. So I sold it, and the guy, he saw me down the hallway at work, and he asked me if I wanted to buy it back, and I love this car. I should have never sold it. He caught me at a moment of weakness. And he said he bought another car, and I'm like, oh man, maybe he upgraded, went to like a Caddy, or maybe got like an Imperial or something. No, he bought a Ford Falcon is what he replaced this with. So no judgment, not what I would have done.
So, and then we've got something else here that I wanted to show you guys that's got a little history to it, and we're gonna walk around that way and check this out. Uh-oh, it's failing on me.
Is it? Yeah, I can't coat all the stuff in here.
All the shiny stuff is making it focus on the reflections.
You gotta set it on car parts, and it's freaking it out.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're okay.
Got it?
I think so.
There we go.
Yep.
So I had a 72 Duster that I sold, and it went overseas. And so I was looking for another A body, and I wanted an A body that had a big block in it. So I found this car on Facebook. It was on Facebook for like a month or so, but it had a big block in it, and it looked like it was pretty clean. So I finally decided, you know, it was like 3 hours away up north, and decided I'm going to go look at this car. You know, it's pretty clean. It had been sitting, per the ad, it had been sitting since the early 90s, just mothballed. But he said the motor turned over, and when I went up there, it was everything that he said it was is what it was. And so made the deal, and when I was loading this up, I actually bought it from his son. He was trying to teach his son some like life lesson, you know, selling cars, give him some life experience. And so we're loading the car up, and he goes, hey, this car was actually written they wrote an article in a magazine about this car. Do you want the article? And I'm like, well, duh. And he goes, well, it was also written by this guy his name was like Tony Defoe or something like that. And I'm like, oh, Tony Defoe, Uncle Tony? And he goes, yeah, whatever. So he gave me the article, and it's the first ever issue. It's the first issue of Mopar High Performance. So on 33, it is the Child's Play 440 Valiant So this was the recipe for all the people that wanted to go. It was like how to go for 12 seconds for dirt cheap money, because the car is super simple. You know, it's just a super light body. It's got a pretty basic 440 in it, and the car, it was absolutely untouched. When I bought it, it actually still had the rims and tires that were in this article still on the car. So I brought the car home. It sat for a year while I finished up college, and then the next year I revived this car to go on Hot Rod Drag Week, because Drag Week's loop was kind of local to me. So I made an effort to revive this thing, and we actually drove it the entire way and we had a couple of little hiccups, but the car performed really well. And I ended up averaging like a 1290 at like 104 miles an hour for the entire week. And the car was like deadly consistent. And if I wouldn't have been screwing around trying to get more time out of the thing, I probably would have ran within a tenth the entire week. So the car was super consistent. But I mean, as far as the article goes, this car is still, it's the same paint, it's the same motor, it's the same transmission, it's the same carburetor. So, what this car ran was what it ran back in the 80s.
Okay, here's the drag week average 1296, 103.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this thing's pretty cool. And Tony DeFeo, that we know, who's from around my parts, that's Uncle Tony from Uncle Tony's Garage. And this is Ken's channel, Accelerate Car Life. And then there's a tribute to my dad, 3454. So yeah, this is a really cool piece. And it used to be a street race car, I think.
Yeah, it was a Detroit street race car.
We're defrosting the shop fridge.
Yeah, not enough beer. I think that's the life lesson there. Is
always keep a beer in there.
Yeah, more beer. But fender well headers. It's a 69 HP 440 motor, and per the article, I have the article to go off of, because I basically I removed the engine because I had to replace some freeze plugs, and then I did a set of gaskets. I didn't even crack the motor open actually, but it was like just the external gaskets so it doesn't leak as much. I think Mopar is like French for leaks out of every surface or something like that. But replaced all the gaskets. I did put an aluminum radiator. I have the original radiator that was in the car, but I put an aluminum on it because I had it around and I knew it was in good shape. So, but other than that, I mean, this is it's 1985, untouched.
The way it was.
Yep.
So that's pretty awesome. Drag Week 2024 completed. So I just thought this was really cool, and I wanted to show you guys and Uncle Tony. And like I said, Tony, if you're watching this, Ken's moving to South Carolina, and I'm in Nashville, and maybe there could be a reunification with this car for your channel or something. So,
yeah, let's go race it.
Yeah. So there's more to be discussed on the Monte Carlo, but the big thing now is I need to make room in my shop at my mom's house to get it in there. So thanks, Ken, for all the help you've done for me. He helped me with the 73 Camaro too, which is we're going to be selling. Helped me put the motor in and got it all checked out and running and all that. So
the hood on the Darth Tahoe and
he painted my hood on the Darth Tahoe.
Yeah.
My gimbal is like freaking out right now, but that's but I'm learning this thing, so I'm trying to up my game with the videos, and the phone is what I usually use. So all right, thanks guys. Like, share, subscribe to your channel. What is it?
Accelerate Car Life.
And I think there's a series of Ken getting this ready for Drag Week last year.
Yeah, it was I did a full build series on getting this thing basically prepped from storage, getting it all the way up to you know, and it was funny because I had 0 miles on this car before we took it to drag week. I had the thing all tore down, put the cage in it, redid the interior, just put it back together so we didn't suffer too bad. And then I loaded it on the trailer and unloaded it. And actually, the rear end still kind of whines, and we drove it the entire drag week on a whiny rear end, but it did well.
Sweet. All right. That'll be all for now, guys. So see you later.